is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at H3 Content Deputy, iDubbbz's video. But also we're going to discuss Creator Clash. The reason why is because Ethan has for some time criticised Anissa and Ian, believing that their involvement is detrimental to Creator Clash, and that they would be the reason it would fail. Proof of that, courtesy of Yeet on Twitter, Anissa had said, when Ethan had commented on their financial situation, "Hey, baby girl, I know you're so desperate for any crumbs from me, so here's a really big piece of F you. We are not financially tied to this event, and even when we were, we had it structured to protect us and the charity. You have no power over us, you're just an asshole." Ethan had on his Instagram said, "I totally understand why you guys decided to try a third time. After the second one lost money and didn't send any money to charity, not a surprise in the slightest. And it was, by the way, entirely their fault. 100% preventable as well." Which is a bit tragic for that of Anissa and Ian. With no risk to you guys financially, you only F over everyone else, including the fighters. Lena, for example, is out $12,000 that you refuse to reimburse. So I'm reimbursing her out of my own pocket. One thing I will credit Ethan for is that Ethan has offered to reimburse a number of fighters that have appeared on his show discussing this, because they've all been absolutely destroyed by this stupidity. We all wondered what kind of psychopaths would do a third Creator Clash after the monumental failure of the second one. Now we know. Ones with absolutely nothing to lose personally while everyone else you worked with gets F. Classy as always, Anissa. I think there's a point to be made here about how this event is structured, trying to go in the direction of professional. Apparently all you really need to do is the KSI route of linking up with an actual boxing promoter and just set up an event with actual people that are known to the world. So not just a few people that were your friends, or perhaps subscribers to your wife's Only Super Fibro Failed Adult Film Actor account. Skipping ahead a little, the official Creator Clash Twitter, Ian and Anissa Joma have made the difficult decision to fully step away from Creator Clash both publicly and behind the scenes and are relinquishing ownership of the event. This decision wasn't made lightly, but it's a necessary step toward returning Creator Clash to its core purpose. Creator Clash won maybe, but Ian was involved in that, and people supported him back then because he wasn't as much of a cuck. In the second one, after the Sam Hyde incident, the Froggy Fresh incident, the replacement of fighters incident, I don't know what exactly you think it is, but I can guarantee you it's not what you're about to say it is. Bringing communities together for a night of boxing. Fueled by passion, discipline, and the goal of raising money for causes that matter. Is that why the entire top row around the event place has been, closed off? It was originally available tickets. I think it was Bojangles, Joe Bengals. Muta's wife had tweeted out about it. I just can't be asked to go find the tweet. Since the beginning, this event has been about more than just the fights. It's been about creators pushing themselves beyond the limits, fans rallying behind something positive, and using that energy to do something good in the world. Well, it didn't make money last time, so I'm not entirely convinced you've done much in the way of good. But it seems appropriate that the picture from Comment Cop underneath this has Ian and Anissa flipping people off. I hope that the money you made from Content Cop was good, because I can't see you making much more as a YouTuber. Enjoy being the guy that holds the camera while your wife gets pile-drived. For the sake of this, I don't need to read the second and third, right? It's just an absolute load of bollocks at this point. I don't see Creator Clash 3 doing that well. Most of the names are unknown. And let's face it here, Ian and Anissa are to blame for that. Not Ethan Klein.
Talks about the potential CTE that I might have after boxing.
Yeah.
Ethan, your whole system is scrambled.
No, your brain is scrambled from getting punched in the face too many times because you don't understand the situation. Some people are saying the CTE is starting to take effect, I guess. That would be comforting if there was some explanation, at least.
Any amount of CTE that I may have endured after doing 2 boxing matches, I'm going to say is preferred over having to share the load of doing 50 jumping jacks with my wife.
Jack,
what if we both do them? We'll both do 25 at once.
Do 25 each?
Oh my goodness.
Great form by both.
Really nice. They must work out.
Sorry, that was the wrong clip. I just wanted to insert a random little tidbit of thing, because it's tying in a lot, seems to be anyway. Ian's criticisms of virtually everything seem to always loop back to Ethan. Feels like he's been boiling for a while inside his wife, so now he's acting on it because she nagged him enough. Here's another more important and slightly more relevant clip that ties into Creator Clash 3.
that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I. Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous 2 events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event. Yeah, I mean, I think it had to come to this eventually. I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't, I can. I just didn't want to. I want to be frank. I want to be honest.
When it comes to charity, of course, I want anyone, anywhere, anytime to do well. To raise money for charity, 100%. At no point am I ever going to say otherwise. I've said it in the past when Ethan Ralph raised money for a children's hospital and they turned it back. Was it St. Jude's? They declined the donation. I can't disagree with that kind of mentality more. Purity testing gatekeeping is unnecessary when it comes to charity. It's possible Creator Clash 3 or any further Creator Clashes do well without your involved direct 100%. However, I don't believe for a second you can't keep your mouth shut, or that you can keep your mouth shut. I firmly believe you only act now on what your wife tells you is okay to talk about. You really are that pussy. And just a quick thing here. You lost $250,000 that was meant for charity. You went on a tour apologising for it. You made a 3rd event that didn't need to happen because you're not going to regain the money you've already lost. You don't promote it because I hadn't heard of it until I saw virtually non-existent names. You start drama with Ethan, which helps you then to promote Creator Clash 3. You lose multiple fighters because of the drama, and then you and your wife, because you're so solid, yo, you leave it. But you want it to be a massive success. That's another very important point. I think, firmly, people say don't ever support you two. There's a point to that. You've lost all the respect of the internet. These are the people you need to back your event. Sorry, you needed to back your event. But after the second one, there was no chance of redemption unless you made changes to who are. Something which you are reluctant to do because you're iDubbbz, yo.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, he's at that age, he has giardia.
Okay.
People are quite reasonably concerned.
No, they're not. Listen, here's the thing. I want people to understand, and I'm somebody who's like full of a lot of empathy. We have to understand is the reason that iDubbbz and Anissa don't really get what's happening here is because I think that they're 2 people who have no intentions of having children. Honestly, and like I really hope that they get help. It's possible that there's some kind of substance involved. Just from what I'm seeing, they don't quite look as, like healthy as they used to. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying like, I don't know. And so maybe there's a possibility that they can't even have kids. And that's terrible. And that might also be making them bitter. Because I know what it's like to struggle, to have kids. And
annoyingly, when it comes to what iDubbbz and Anissa do in their personal life, there is going to be a gap there. I do think there's something slightly skewed, sure, but it'll never be proven unless somebody actually went there to find out, which is unlikely because the window of acceptable friends has gotten, like comedy, smaller. Although certain language is now acceptable within comedy, so it's always possible that these same individuals, like Ian, may well get a renaissance. Short of making another content cop on another very easy and soft target, I don't see where Ian can go, really. When Papa Gut mentioned empathetic, it was meant on purpose, because that was something iDubbbz said in this same video that's been responded to, with regards to the Ethan Klein content cop. I was doing it with empathy, right? Is that what that's called? Condescending, patronizing, looking down upon your former friend you've made a video on with the very people that actively go out of their way to harass him, with talking points you yourself reference to justify bad action. Bad tactics can never be justified against any target, even if you consider that target. Because of that, more people are then going to start to look at the person throwing those accusations out there, like you, Ian, which is where Papa Gut comes in, looking at what may well be wrong with you.
I think that maybe the reason why they just don't get how terrible it is to like falsely call CPS is because of that, because they're just 2 people who are clearly going through a lot. You could tell mentally, physically, emotionally, possibly from a substance perspective. And so that's why they lack the ability to have true empathy on this topic. And I think people should keep that in mind and like really humanize these 2. Yeah, listen, I'm not trying to be rude. It might be drug related, and I'm not trying to be rude, but like you see them before and after. You see them from like 10 years ago, and especially like Anissa, like she looked looks so much healthier. Look at this picture. Like, they look so much healthier here. You know, she looks so much healthier here. But then you look at these new pictures and they might be doing something that might not necessarily be good for them. I wish them the best. I really hope that they could settle it out. I'm not empathy trolling. I'm truly concerned. They might even be sniffing poop. I heard people sniff poop.
I really hope that's not the case. Sniffing poop, that is. I know that's a kink for some people. No thank you. Keep that out of my chat. Tar. In this content deputy also was discussion concerning Frogan. Now, iDubbbz's perspective is it's all unjustified. The currently eyebrowless individual called Frogan, yes, I've seen the picture and I swear they're just cosplaying as a cancer patient, has been dabbing on those that have been getting bans for lengthy periods of time, like Tectone, got a 2-week ban on Twitch for criticising Frogan. Right, you can't report Hassan, he only gets 1 day at most, and the same for Frogan the Orbiter, the 2-time rising star of Twitch, who only gets views when associated with Hassan. Okay. Now, rather than play any clips of him defending Frogan or doubling down on the CPS comments, or basically trying to make it seem like, yes, but you badmouthed me, so I'm allowed to badmouth you, but the sword thing, but this, but that, no. I want to play the clip that tickled me the most. It was the cope over the like to dislike from the content cop. Now, at time of recording, on the 5th of May, it's 538,000 downvotes, okay, to 364 upvotes. Content deputy is 178,000 down to 139 up. Ian, though, believes this is shenanigans.
Also, for all the people who touch grass, I want to remind you to click the like button on this video, not so it goes in your algorithm or anything, just specifically so that we can add a counter narrative, or I can get an idea of how much astroturfing is out there, because I know that a lot of these they love their dislike button extensions, and I saw that shit and I was like, what the f? These are all like fabricated numbers. The like-dislike ratio was like 80-20 on my video, and then they tried to create a narrative of like, no, people actually hate this content cop, guys.
You know, if you really want to debunk it, Ian, you should show everyone that. Show us the YouTube studio page as a screen share and refresh the page. That's not you showing us your analytics for like how much money you made on it, because I don't care. If it really is a lie, it isn't a trust me bro thing, it's a damn well show it. Now, the only other point I really want to latch onto in this, and it was a point Ethan had against you, was that when you had a chance to stand up and say something to help him when he was being attacked, you say the following.
Lobbing it to me and Anissa. I'm lobbing it back to you. You're the one who brought it up. If you lob it back to me and you say, well, I didn't have your back publicly. Well, f you. I'm going to lob it back and say, you're being irresponsible on your podcast, and you're not taking any accountability for the shit you're putting out online.
This might be one of the most ridiculous takes. I wanted to use a different R word, but apparently I still can't say that on YouTube. I've heard in some time. Friends are allowed to disagree with each other. They really are. There's nothing wrong with that either. If you're always in sync, you're kind of crap fret. But with you and many of your little California morons, it's very much a case of, if you don't agree, you're excommunicado. You are banished to the realm of, I don't know, whichever one it is Chris Chan thinks they inhabit. That's your version of it. What was happening in that area of the world, you drew a line in the sand on based on limited understanding from those people you've allowed yourself to be surrounded by, poisoning your mind and your own little well of thought. It's a vastly more complicated situation, and you, being American, really should leave those kind of discussions to the grown-ups. So you shouldn't be consuming information on this from the likes of Frogan, Denims, the other 2 Orbiters, and Hassan, because they don't know what they're talking about either. And after the recent debate with Ethan, Hassan definitely doesn't know what he's talking about. Sometimes it does well to listen to everyone, by the way, Ian. That means speaking to them. If you speak to somebody, you can understand them better than listening to clips of them outraged online, because I'm not convinced you've paid much attention to this, or to what people have said fully. You accused Ethan of taking you out of context in this video, yet you unironically did the same to them, and when they called that out, your response was, F you. That's all it was. This video's terrible, and the like to dislike is on the audience's side again. You'll claim otherwise, but let's face it, it doesn't matter. The internet has spoken. Vox Populi, Vox Day, is that it? Is that the thing from Elon Musk? Anyway, we've reached the end. I'm going to link his content deputy in the pinned comment. Let me know what you think if you've seen it all. It's worth a listen if you want to listen to somebody for 30 plus minutes double down on everything they've said and not remotely consider introspecting whilst claiming they're an empath. Remove the M and end path with a logical liar, and you might have something. Let me know in the comments down below. If I don't see you on Twitch later, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening.